This video will show you 3 signs that you must decrease importance in order to attract what you want. I think this is the game changer for a lot of people. It's changed my life and I want to show you how to do that. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 things, the 3 signs that it is time for you to decrease importance and how that can totally revolutionize the kind of results that you're getting. Now this is a reality transurfing idea. Maybe many of you have heard me talk about reality transurfing, and basically in a nutshell what it is, it's the powerful process, manifestation process, and more so just a philosophy, like a way for seeing the world. And it came from a book called Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland, who is a quantum physicist in Russia. Now it's been translated to English and it's something a lot of people are coming to understand. And it has to do with understanding a couple key principles. One is that there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, and that what you want to experience already exists. So it's not so much about trying to get that to come over here, it's more so about embodying the feeling and embodying that version of you now in order to experience what you want. Now there's a couple key principles. One, setting intentions. When you simply set more intentions, you'll experience more of what you want in your life. Intentions are the direction of which parallel realities you experience. There's another part called pendulums. Pendulums are these thought structures. Anytime we think thoughts, there are electromagnetic type reality to those thoughts, even if we can't actually see it. So when we're thinking about certain things, we're creating thought structures about it. Now think about it also. Anytime we're consistently thinking of something with momentum, we begin to create more and more of that momentum, therefore bringing that more so in our perceptual range. So that's why your focus is so powerful. And when you learn how to really focus in a powerful way, or you learn how to focus from a conscious way, things can change in a very powerful way. Now, another part of reality transurfing is this idea of decreasing importance. This is the game changer for me. This is the game changer that when I share on the channel, people say it's really changed their life. And it's understanding that we must balance out the energy, or there'll be balancing factors that come out that balance out the energy for us. And this is normally in a way that we don't prefer. So this is when we are giving anything what is called excess meaning. What that means is that anytime you want something really bad, you're also saying, I currently don't have this. Now at the same time, when you make something really, really important, you put it on a pedestal and you immediately can't connect to it as much. When you put it on a pedestal, you create this resistance, you create it to where it's something that you don't actually perceive of, because metaphorically speaking, there are these balancing factors that come into play that make it so that that balances out. So the key is we must do and have what is called a balance of coordination. We must be aware of how something feels, and by being aware of how something feels and the way that we're viewing it, we can then see and we'd be like, yo, I gotta switch up my mindset a little bit about this. And if we do that, a lot begins to change. So these 3 signs are things that I've noticed in my own life, and even if this is just a couple days, and I think that you can relate to some of these. So the first one has to do with simply seriousness. How serious are you making your manifestation? And how serious are you taking yourself? And the reason I say this is because I realized this the other day. Now, I have been in this new spot for about a week now, and I realized that even in the last, since I moved in here, I just pretty much get up every day, I make videos, and I kind of in a way just grind it out. Like I have a very strong work ethic. I love what I do, so it's not like I have to feel like, oh, I have to go do this, or I have to go do this. However, I find that I become a little bit too immersed in what I do sometimes, in the sense that I become very, I don't know, like I'm just always trying to get to the next place. I'm always trying to progress the website, progress this, progress that, progress. And it makes me feel sometimes like there's a certain sense of seriousness that comes with it. And I had to remind myself, because I was feeling resistance maybe like 2-3 days ago, and I realized that unless I got that into check, something else would happen that would make me have to get it in check. Now this happens to me, like for example, I haven't been sick in about 4 or 5 years, except for a little bit of congestion. And what happens is when I start to become aware of that congestion, that is my body's signal telling me, hey, you need to get back into being present to the moment. You need to relax. That's the way I interpret it, because that's the meaning I give it. So because of that, what I've learned to do is how to have that body awareness. So I'm not sick. However, I do start to get congested from time to time. Maybe you can hear it. I sound a tad bit congested. And that's simply because it's my body telling me, hey, loosen up, relax. Doesn't have to be so serious. And that's my interpretation, at least that's the way that I use it. But by me becoming aware of that, guess what? I'm grateful, because then I can focus on what really matters, which is also enjoying life. You know, sometimes we put these things on a pedestal, or like, yeah, on a pedestal, but we also say and give so much meaning. We say, when that happens, I will feel a certain way. When really, we have to enjoy the journey at the same time. So this is always a reminder for me to enjoy the journey. So sometimes I'll go out to eat at a nice place, or I'll go hang out with friends, or I'll go do something like swim in a pool, or go to the gym and just relax at the gym. Like there's a sauna and there's like things, you know, laying outside by the pool because it's sunny here in Vegas. So those are some things that I can do, but also to just have fun, just to laugh, you know, that's something else too. I remember one of the funnest trips that I had, I went with Victor, my buddy Victor Otto, which a lot of you guys know, and we went to Costa Rica. We went to a place called Rhythmia, and when we were there, it was like we weren't, you know, we weren't grinding it out to make videos. We weren't like, there was no specific schedule of what exactly we had to do, and we just enjoyed ourselves. And it was one of the funnest trips I've ever had, because we literally just laughed the whole time. It was like we were able to like kind of just be ourselves in a completely different way, away from like the business side of us, which is like, let's do this, how are we going to help people do this, you know, the business and the adding value side. You know, we still made videos while we were there, a couple here and there, but it was like so much of a different energy, and it was so light, and it was so fun. And what I do is sometimes I intend to like intention is powerful. I intend to get back to that state to where it's just loose, it's just fun, just like, you know, laugh about it. If you find yourself taking it too serious, then what happens is you're creating it and making it more important than it has to be, and that's where resistance is created. So part of even what it says in the book is that anytime we take things too seriously, that a lot of times means that we're giving it excess importance. So the key is to have a better sense of humor about it, to just kind of joke around, to let it be fun, you know. Sometimes I look and I think it's funny the way that I'm so focused on what I do, and it can be a good thing, that's for sure, you know. It's just that I've been rewarded for like the hard work I put into what I do, because that's what made me go from working a 9-to-5 job I'd enjoy to doing YouTube full time. So I'm kind of like always keep that kind of perspective. But the key I'm finding is it's less about the seriousness and it's more about the feeling. So how do you feel? You know, it's funny because as I get and I increase my state of being, things happen better anyways. I know sometimes if like it's a website, Victor knows this too, anytime there's a website issue or we can't figure out how to do something, how to move something over technical wise, the more you fight it and the more resistance you create with it, you're not going to figure out the answer. But if you go to the gym, or if you go outside and lay out for a little bit, or if you just go relax for a little bit and you come back to it, you figure it out really easily. It's the funniest thing. It's almost like you allow that resistance to go away, which is manifesting itself with not figuring stuff out, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You can figure stuff out. So are you making things more important than they have to be, and are you being very serious about it? You know, sometimes the people are like, how do I attract this? How do I attract this? Very serious type vibe. And a lot of times my answer is just to loosen up about it. Be cool if it happens, but also be cool if you just be present in the moment, because you know it's going to eventually happen. So that's something that's really made me become more aware of how I can decrease importance, and it's changed my life in a powerful way. All right, now the second sign that it is time to decrease importance is the most obvious one, and that is that you feel resistance. Now, resistance is like a negative feeling that we have, and there's really two types of inner and outer importance. Or there's really two types of importance in general. One is inner importance, the other is outer importance. Anytime we give something inner importance within ourselves, meaning that we think that we are maybe better than other people, or maybe we think that we're not, like we're underneath other people, that's creating polarization of either inner importance or outer importance. That's creating it, whether it's us feeling better or worse than other people. That's creating polarization, which creates an imbalance of the inner intention and the inner importance. Now, outer importance is anytime we make something outside of us more important than it has to be. Now, this is the most common one when it comes to making it important that you attract someone into your life, making it very important that you attract money into your life, or any type of object that we give excess meaning or excess importance to. Balancing factors come into play that neutralize that energy. So what this means is that what we must do is become aware of this inner and outer importance that we're giving things, because that creates resistance. How do you feel with this? You know, let me give a couple examples. One example could be that you just got a new car and you make it very, very important that everything about it stays very clean and things are always happening to where it's like you can protect it because you really, really value it. The thing is if you really, really value it and you make it more important than it has to be, many times you may manifest something happening. It could be little like a car dings, something dings your car. It could be that you go to clean it and something happens to where like something breaks. It could be so many different things because you're giving it excess meaning, and with that excess potential, the probability of that energy state is that something can manifest for it to go the wrong way. So it could be also that you create resistance with the relationship. You say, here's where I am right now. I want to be in a relationship. I want somebody to love me. And because you have that intention, what happens is you're also saying in the present moment, I don't currently have what I want. And in an energetic state of being, you may also be saying that I'm not worthy because you are feeling like you need someone else. That creates something called dependence, outer dependence. You create dependence on something else happening. And if that thing doesn't happen, then you can't feel happy. But that's making a rule to yourself, and that's making it so that things have to fill into a slot in order for things to happen for you. And the thing is that's outside of you. That's not something you can't control. So instead, you must understand the energy from which you're coming from. A lot of times when people ask me questions on YouTube, whether it's DMs and Instagram, they're asking me questions about how can they do certain things, whether it's attract someone into their life. And I always pay attention to where is that energy coming from. Because if the energy is coming from a place of lack, or it's coming from a place of not already having, then the thing is even if you get that thing, you may not actually be happy. And if you do get that thing, you may become dependent on it and create resistance around it to where then things don't happen for you anyways because of that energy state that you're in. So this is why it's about becoming aware of where that energy is coming from. Now, an important part of this is just to simply start to tap into the feeling more so than the intellectual ideas. That's something that this channel is moving in the direction of. It's more so understanding how to let go of all of the intellectual ideas and how to do all of this like psychology part of it. It's more so about how can you just get to the energy state, because in the energy state is where things happen much more smooth anyways. So with that being said, don't make it a rule that the outer reality has to have certain variables in order for you to feel a certain way. Start to realize that instead, what you can do is focus on your state of being, and if you feel that resistance, simply start to let go more. Now, how do you let go? You let go by not identifying with what is happening, by observing it rather than reacting to it, by letting it be, and by surrendering. This is so counterintuitive. You know, there's inner intention, which is the ability to take action, the will to do certain things. But then there's something called outer intention. And outer intention is when you surrender to the process. You must have both. You can't just action, 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 action without actually surrendering and understanding that the how does not have to be completely figured out by the ego mind. You can allow, in a way, quote unquote, the universe to manifest it for you. In the same way you may be intending to manifest someone into your life, at a certain level, they are intending to manifest you. So that's part of outer intention. This goes beyond just your inner intention, and it helps you understand more of it from an energetic point of view. Now, the third sign that you must decrease importance in order to attract what you want has to do with how comfortable do your goals feel. Now, this is one of the biggest game changers when you're studying reality transurfing, is understanding the feeling aspect of it, but what are your goals? And if your goals make you feel uncomfortable to the sense that it's something that maybe is more so connected to the mind, like the mind likes the idea of money, right? Money is like, oh, money equals freedom. Money equals the ability to do what I want. But you see, the heart does not connect to that in the same way. The heart connects to feeling, the heart connects to emotion, the heart connects to passion. So what you can begin to do is to more so focus on how you can get to that energy state and how you can have the right goals. Because if you don't have the right goals, you will be making things more important than they have to be by default. So the goals must be connected to a feeling of something you can tap into. So for example, for me, versus money and me saying, oh, I want to create X amount of money per month or per year, I focus on what I could be doing in the sense of what makes me feel a certain way. The money doesn't necessarily make me feel a certain way in the same way that me doing my passion, part of the journey, is for me. So I've told you guys this before, but mine and the way that I view it is going into and speaking in front of a lot of people and going and traveling the world and being able to eat at amazing restaurants, that to me is much more exciting than just that of the idea of the money itself. So I can tap into that feeling more, and by tapping into that feeling, I can see it as something that is almost comfortable for me. So what you want to do is you want to more so make your goals comfortable. Now this goes against some of the 10x rule and some of the things that we learn, but this is the idea. You set the goal that it's maybe outside your comfort zone for a while, but what you do is you start to see that as comfortable for you, and your self-image changes as well. The only time that remains uncomfortable is if you don't change your self-image with that of your goal. So for example, if you were currently making $20,000 a year and you're like, hey, I want to make $50,000 a year, what you must do is see yourself, have your self-image as somebody that simply makes $50,000 a year. Unless you change your self-image, subconsciously, you'll always go back to default. So start to see it as natural for you to be somebody that makes $50K a year. Start to see it as that, but remember, don't make it just about the money. Make it about what you could be doing, something that you're passionate about, to where you can tap into that feeling, because that feeling is what's more so powerful than just the idea of some symbolic representation of what money means. So tap into the feeling and understand that as you tap into the feeling, see it as comfortable for that to be a part of who you are. And it goes more so, instead of just stepping outside your comfort zone, you're expanding your comfort zone. When you expand it, your self-image comes with it. So for me, for example, I see it as natural for me to be traveling, to be speaking, because I already do it on YouTube. I already speak on YouTube. I already speak in front of many people on YouTube. What's the difference between that and doing it in person? Well, because I can see it as more so natural, it's something that's already happened. You know, I already gave a talk in LA. It's something that will be happening more in the future. So it's something I can more so tap into. So it's kind of a cool perspective, but expand your comfort zone, see it as comfortable for you, and by doing that, you're decreasing importance because your self-image is coming along with it as well. Now, everything I'm talking about right now, all of this stuff is about decreasing importance. I've created a free meditation MP3 that will help you to decrease the level of importance, which will then increase the probability that you experience what you want. It's a very powerful meditation. I recommend that you listen to it for 21 days straight. I released it maybe a month ago. I've had so many people tell me that it's changed their lives, so I want to be able to give that same tool to you. So feel free to download that. That'll be in the top of the description box below. And remember, all you have to do is let go of making things so serious. Have fun with the process. Make it more about the feeling. Let go of the resistance by letting go of identification, and then make your goal something that's natural for you because it's part of your self-image and it's changed with you as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification gear so that you guys can see the daily vids that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit that button to see the daily vids. And as always, I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. Peace, much love, and namaste.